Debate. I recognize the member from Stormont Dundas, South Glengarry.
Thank you, Speaker, and it's an honour to rise to speak to this motion sponsored by the member from Haldimand, Norfolk. Over the long life of this government, we have seen taxes collected by them more than double. And far too often we've seen fees increase as well, too often more than they're actually required to cover the costs. And we saw a study out just a little while ago showing the basic document statistic costs are much higher than actually cost the government to put them out. If you go back to the pre-2003, increasing taxes was a huge issue. And the then leader of this Liberal Party, Dalton McGuinty, signed a document guaranteeing that they would not raise taxes in power. And of course, we all saw within a very few months, I think 2 months of taking power, that we saw the health tax come in, largest tax in Canadian history. So of course, what's he do? Then he takes the Canadian Taxpayers Federation to court to prove that he can do that. He doesn't have to follow his promises. So that's what we expect from this government when we see promises coming forth. You know, and then you look at the 2007 election, of course, with this court ruling under their belt, they promised, again, no taxes. Then we saw the HST come in. Another large tax increase by this government. So, Speaker, you know, we talk about the 2014 election, the campaign. We never heard, or the people never heard, of a promise to create a carbon or a tax or a cap and trade tax. That was not mentioned until the majority government came in, and of course now all of a sudden it was a necessity. So again, we see something that's committed during the election campaign, just like many of these goodies in this election, we will never see. You know, I'm hearing the member for Timiskaming here, I was a little bit worried he might have might need some medical help in here, but you know, I think he needs to tell the full story of what happened back then. I mean, I was in municipal politics, and I remember the Harris government coming in, and I remember the dark days of the NDP government. We were paying almost as much in interest as we were health care. And you can imagine that. Interest rates went up as high as 20%. They were no longer 1% like they are today. That's not like that's
Order.
the truth. That's the truth.
Order.
You know,
Order.
Call him a liar.
No, they weren't. They not.
Member, you speak through the chair. It's not dialogue amongst the members, so I'll return to the member.
Thank you, Speaker. So when we look at the effect of taxes and where we've gone, and when I was there during the uploading, in our township of South Glengarry, more than 6% of our taxes went to fund schools. And we had no control over that. Every year, the school board would simply deliver the tax bill to us, and we collected it. And we took the flak for it. So yes, they uploaded most of that school bill, and they downloaded some others. And so people are forgetting that. And I remember the municipalities at the time were very happy with that decision. They were not against it.
Order.
Yes, they were. I was there. But anyway.
Order.
So
Order.
when you look at...
Order. It's never too late to name somebody. And I believe some people are already being warned from this morning. Okay, so I'll return to the member.
So, you know, when you look at some of the results of taking more and more money from businesses, the member must remember Estrada moving into Quebec, because when you start raising costs, something like that case, it was the price of electricity, something that they joined the government to support in the Green Energy Act. But that's the result. We have less and less people with jobs. In SDNG, where I'm from, we lost over 3,000 jobs in 2006. Those jobs never came back. And now, you know, I guess you can brag that you've got back to the 2008 level, but our population is substantially more than it was back then. And we are not seeing the jobs, and we're not certainly seeing the good jobs.
Thank you. Thank you.